Hi, welcome to the breadboard and a special project with STMicroelectronics, WURTH Elektronik and Element14. Primary purpose of this video series is to review and play with the motor control board that we've looked at in an earlier video. And we're going to get to that. We're just slowly working towards it by setting up the environment, getting our sensor boards working, and then we will look at the motor control board. So what we have to do now, and if you haven't watched the other videos, it may not make total sense, but we are going to be using the latest software and SDKs that we can download from STMicroelectronics, and we'll have to tweak the instructions for the demos to use that latest software, the Python SDK that is set up and is required for showing nice pretty graphs and everything else, and extracting data and converting data from these boards, or this board, is changed considerably, let's say, from what the videos are showing. So the first thing we need to do here is install get desktop, and then we need to install the repository for the Python from STMicro's GitHub repository. So let's get to that, and we will start by going into Windows, and if I haven't got Python already installed, we'll install it, and then we'll get down the Git repository as well so that we can get the SDK. So what we need in addition to this DATALOG-2 structure is the Python scripts that have been moved to a different location, and they are in STDATALOG-PYSDK, and in here we have a whole description about it and the files that are in there and everything else, and we can download this, but it is only from GitHub. We'll do that in a moment, and you have to get it in a certain way, otherwise you'll lose 90% of the files. So I downloaded the getting started, and that was from, I think it was this one, under user manuals. It should have a number on it, UM3106. Yeah, this first one. So it's under the SNS DATALOG-2, and if you go down to user manuals, it's the first one here which I've opened up, and it actually talks about some of the changes. So if you look into the SysDatalog GUI and things that are referred to in the videos for doing a GUI data output on your Windows screen, it tells us right here that as of DATALOG 3, all of the HSD Python SDK has been expanded and moved to a separate software product, the PYSDK. So you need to download that and start making kind of conversions in a lot of places if you're trying to watch the videos, and have that installed, but using the Git and everything. And we want to be able to ultimately get to this screen, which is my goal right now. So the first thing we need to do is, if we haven't already done it, download STDATALOG-PYSDK, and that comes from GitHub. And we also need to download Git as well, GitHub desktop. Here, Git desktop. Git desktop. Download Windows 64-bit. I've already done this on a different computer, so I know it's safe. Okay, that's downloaded. I have a very fast 5 gigabit Ethernet and internet speed, so if yours doesn't download as quick as this, don't worry about it. So you need to sign in to Git, obviously, so we'll just sign in. I'll just set up a passkey. Continue, open the desktop, and finish. All right, so I need to get the repository, so I need the path for that. So let's go to get software. I went back to the STMicro, so then it's got a link to GitHub for the files we need. and here it is. Now if you look in this, right, if you just go do, you think you're going to go code and download zip, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of empty folders, because all of these folders are links to other folders and they come down as just empty. So that's not going to work. So what we want is to just copy that, so the URL here, go back to here, and we're going to clone the repository from the internet and give it a URL. So we're going to put the URL in here, and I want to put it in a different folder. And we'll put it in here, program downloads. We'll select that folder and we'll say clone. So it's now bringing down all of the linked files as well. I have my little friend here come to say hello, trying to get my attention. There's 3 cats floating around. They probably want food. And that's done. So we can close this. Now if I go back to my folder and go into capture with program downloads, and I should find it in here now. Here. And there should be, in the past these have been empty. Now they're full of wonderful files, which is great. But we're not done yet. So in here there is a batch file which then does a whole bunch of other installation stuff that we probably will need. So we need to be able to run the STDATALOG-PYSDK install.bat to download a whole bunch of other things. So the easiest way is to navigate to the folder where you've got this, and then go up into your URL part up the top and just type cmd, and that'll bring you up a command window, which is awesome. Let's just get rid of that so it's not doing sillies. Now in here we can run, if we do a dir, the file we want to execute is STDATALOG-PYSDK install.bat, right? And it's going to do a whole bunch of stuff as part of this setting up of the Python and everything. Now you should, some of the instructions say do it in a virtual environment with Python. This is a brand new fresh install of Windows and everything else, so I'm not going to do that. But you do need to python Python sysdatalog. If you type tab, not enough. Oh, it wants it in uppercase. Of course it does. Dash PYSDK dash PYSDK Looks like somebody decided to take over my workbench. Guess he's getting a bit lonely. Anyway, let's switch to my capture. And I figured out what the heck's going on, which is a royal pain in the ass. I went to Python to download the files, and originally it downloaded the latest, which was 3.14, and it failed. So I downloaded 3.12 and installed that after a bit of Googling everywhere and put that in. But as soon as I tried to run it, Windows came up and said put 3.13 in, which I did. And that's what I had done on my other computer, and it had worked. So the issue with the with the Python scripts failing to install and give me all those errors were simply because it was not 3.12 or 3.13. It was the very latest, causing me issues. So don't do that. At least not until ST have caught up and modified their scripts. So when I bring up now, I've already done it once, so it's going to give me slightly different messages. You can see I've put this in and it's completed successfully, but if I run it now, instead of all those error messages, it will run through and not create errors for me. Now it's a lot quicker now because it's all been installed and done, which is unfortunate because I didn't capture the first run of it. But anyway, I just want to let you know. So now let's continue through, and if we go into SysDatalog GUI, no, examples, GUI apps, STDATALOG. GUI, that's the one we want. So let's get a command line right here. And we should be able to just do Python STDATA GUI. It's going to do a whole bunch of things from what I understand. And the app we're trying to run is the one that has the nice graphical graphs and all that fun stuff. So let's see if this works. I hope it does. I did get to the graph on my other computer, but of course I didn't have the device installed, the sensor board. So, okay, that's now found the program. It's run without any errors. It looks like it's found my data logger, so let's connect to it. And it connected, okay. And it knows all the sensors. They're all turned off except for the one, which is the 33HDX accelerometer. So that's all good so far. So let's try and run this. Guess I just have to hit start log. Now let's wiggle this around a bit. Let me change my view for a moment so that you can see. I'm going to work around the cat right now. Overhead zoom. There we go. So I'm wiggling it. Now I'm going up and down. So I had the yellow one going. Now we've got the blue one going. Now I'm going front to back, and we should get the. So it's front to back, up and down, left and right. So the pink one is not as amplified, but okay. Let's go back to our main screen view. And you can see there all the data that's been collected and working with the graphs. So, after all that hassle, we do have the latest software running, and we are communicating with our sensor board, etc., etc. Now, let's just stop logging for the moment. You can save the files. It takes a moment, I believe, to write them all. So here's where it's putting them. And if we look in there, it's put the date, time, and it's got the usual. Oh, it's just looking for a folder right now. So it's got a folder with the date, time that's same as the other captures that we would have had using the 1.1 version of the SDK. So that's good. We've got tags that we could apply to it in the same way as the other applications would have done. If we come down here, we can turn off items. So we will use this application later to capture from the extended sensor, which has got a vibration sensor and a temperature sensor on it. This one has a temperature sensor on it as well. So let's turn the accelerometer off. Let's find the vibration, pressure, magnetometer. Looking at the manual, it is the IIS3DWB. Let's go back to the app. So IIS3WB accelerometer right there. So let's plug that on. So we've got temperature and the vibrometer. So let's run that. So I'm just tapping the bench right now. See, I'm wiggling it around the way I was before. And of course this is vibration, so if I tap it in different directions, right now I'm tapping it up and down. Now I'm tapping it side to side. Now I'm tapping it on the end. And of course I've got temperature. So if I put my hand on here somewhere, we can see the temperature driving up because I've got my hand on the temperature sensor. So that's all working great, capturing the data. So let's stop that for a moment and let's see if we've got a microphone. We've got two of them. One is a digital, one is a analog. So let's enable the digital microphone, see if it picks me up talking. So we'll start the log again. And as I'm talking, you can see it picking up the microphone. So that's pretty good. Yay! All right, so things are starting to come together after all that hassle. Cool. Now I'll be able to get on and moving towards using the motor controller and extending the sensing. So after all of that, now I'm going to call this level with the STWIN.box done, and I want to move on to how easy it is to get the motor controller working and also the extension temperature and vibration sensor. Actually, I could probably do that. No, I'm going to do that on a separate video. It can plug straight into the STWIN.box on its own, but whether it will, I don't want to confuse it with all of this. This one's got on long enough already. But yeah, I will have to write all this up carefully so that you can reproduce it without getting confused with all of the old videos. Anyway, see you in the next video where we look at the motor controller finally.